Welcome to episode 337 of the Various Sundry Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Harmon, joined live in the Vault Studio, the beautiful campus of Grace College and Grace Theological Seminary, by my good friend, my colleague, and my co-host, and the man who has already booked his tickets for the Knicks victory parade, John Scott Sloat.
You do not know how close I have come to booking tickets to the Knicks victory parade.
I believe this.
I've been close.
This does not surprise me. This does not surprise me. So
I won't do it, but I've been close.
Any of your family members doing it?
No.
Are you the most diehard Knicks fan? I mean, what we're compared to your dad?
So my dad watched a lot of Knicks basketball in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I think moving away from New York and some of the change in style of play in the NBA,
all right,
as well as without getting into politics, some of the stances that have gone on.
Okay.
Have caused him to struggle to watch the NBA. So I don't know that he has watched the finals.
All right.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only one.
Interesting. Well, we will have more to say about that as we get to our sports segment.
I sure hope so. As we get to the meat of the episode, the sports segment.
I don't know about that. But we're back in the studio recording on our typical Monday afternoon slot during a perfect day of weather here in Winona Lake. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's quite crisp.
Yeah, this is like late spring weather.
Yeah, feels nice.
Yeah, not any real humidity. I mean, temperatures in the 70s. Not even 70. 68 is what this says here. I'd maybe push it up a few more degrees.
Yeah.
But,
you forget how pleasant June is in Indiana.
well, see, it varies, right? I mean, I feel like sometimes we don't get much spring. Like around here, it feels like we go from, it's in the 50s to okay, it's mid-80s and it's not that pleasant to be outside unless it's later in the day. So this is a nice little treat. So.
Yeah.
But if you would like to contact the show and tell us about how you like to spend lovely weather days, you can find us on X at VNSPod. You can email the show, variousandsundarypodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook and on YouTube, and we would love for you to leave a 5-star rating on whatever platform you access the show. All right, John. It finally happened.
It did. It was wild.
Something that had not happened in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And then obviously in yours, since yours has been shorter.
Correct.
Since I'm middle-aged and you're not. All right. Talk us through how you're feeling. The Knicks have won the NBA championship. First time since 1973.
Yeah. I mean, at the start of the NBA season, I think I said that there was a chance with this group.
Mm-hmm.
There was a chance. They had 5 very good players.
Yeah.
And if they got the right role players around them, right bench pieces, I thought there was a chance.
Okay.
I don't think the regular season went as well as I had hoped. I think we finished second in our conference behind the Celtics. Third?
I thought New York was the 3rd seed.
Maybe they were, but
I think
so. In the East,
in the East,
yes,
Boston
they were the 3rd.
Boston and Cleveland were ahead.
Boston and Cleveland were ahead. I was talking about their specific division, which the Cavs are not in.
Correct. Okay.
They were second behind the Celtics.
Yeah.
So they had fewer wins than I anticipated. However, all season long we played very well against the Celtics. We played very well against the Cavs. You know, they were just a solid team all year long, and they started playing their best basketball probably a few weeks before the playoffs began.
Yeah,
and we lost 2 to Atlanta. I think we were down 2-1, and we came back and won 3 straight.
Yeah,
and then 4 straight against the Sixers, 4 straight against the Cavs,
Yeah.
and then 2 against the Spurs at home, at the Spurs home.
Yeah.
And I was elated.
Yeah, great run.
After that, and thought
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, and that was when I started to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Game 3 happened, and the officiating for the rest of the series is not where I felt it should be.
Okay.
And however, I thought Jalen Brunson stepped up, particularly in games 4 and 5, to lead the team to a finals championship. So it was incredible. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Game 4, where I was so upset I could not be consoled based on both how the game was being, how the Knicks were playing, because they were not playing well, and how well the Spurs were playing, because they couldn't miss in that first half.
Yep.
And then on top of that, how I felt it was being officiated.
Yeah.
I was really, really struggling, and I was very upset. And then to see them come back in the second half and, I mean, just truly, truly dominate that second half of Game 4, and then the tip-in just sort of cemented for me that they were going to win the finals, that this was something that was going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so I just asked ChatGPT to show me the numbers here. I asked it, what percentage, which team led the most, and what percentage did they lead for the series? Meaning game control, basically.
Oh, it's like 70-30. It may be worse than that.
It is basically, this has 65-35 essentially, and then actually it's 65-33, and then 2% tied. The Spurs had a double-digit lead in every single game.
All 5, yep.
Including a 29-point lead during Game 4 that they blew, leading to one of my favorite tweets of all time that I sent you.
Yeah. You sent me a few.
Because Jerry Seinfeld was at the game along with Larry David.
Larry David almost walked out.
That's very believable.
Of course, Larry David naturally was sitting next to John McEnroe.
Yeah. And so it's basically, it's a picture of Jerry at the game, kind of with a shocked look on his face.
Yeah, it's quasi-famous at this point.
Yeah. And doing one of the famous quotes from Seinfeld, you know, the episode where Jerry reserves a rental car and shows up at the rental car counter and there's no car for him. And he gives the famous line, you know, I don't think you understand. You understand how to take the reservation, but you don't understand how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation. Anyone can take reservations, but you have to hold a reservation. And so the tweet was basically a riff off of the Spurs know how to take the lead. They just don't know how to hold the lead. So,
which kind of encapsulates the whole series.
Yeah. It's
certainly Game 4.
They led by double digits in the first quarter of every game, I think, or maybe one game they didn't, but they still led. They led at the end of every first quarter.
Yep.
And so it is interesting. I don't know how much you've seen this. I haven't seen a ton of criticism of the Spurs coaching. I've seen some.
There needs to be more.
Yeah, there does.
Because, in that Game 4, they just really needed to bleed the shot clock, get in the paint, and put up. I mean, they had one series of possessions, a handful of where they shot 8 threes in a row.
Yeah.
And
after they had clearly established those weren't going, and
had only run 10 seconds off the shot clock when they shot them.
Well, the killer moment, though, in that Game 4 comeback by the Knicks, though, was when The Spurs were up 1, got a stop and a run out on a layup attempt.
Oh, by Fox.
By Fox.
Yeah,
and
Fox.
instead of pulling the ball out, eating more clock, he attempts to go shoot the layup, which OG blocks.
Yep.
And that gives the Knicks possession.
Yep.
So instead of burning and getting the clock down to probably, say, 7 seconds, being up 1 with 2 free throws, now suddenly the Knicks have the ball just down 1, and then you have one of the all-time great plays in Knicks playoff history with the tip-in by Anunoby again.
Yeah. And I think that was a brilliant play drawn up by Mike Brown, right? Mm-hmm. I believe it was, hey, if Wemby is out on you, shoot from deep. That way we can get an offensive rebound.
Yeah.
Because I think they felt really good about their chances of an offensive rebound or a tip-in if Anunoby was not down there.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to take away anything from that play, but I don't want to call it – I mean, I feel like it was a little bit lucky. Like, it was not a controlled tip. It was a go up and try to tip it in, and he was successful, but it wasn't –
Yeah.
I mean, so it took skill. He was in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
It was a great play.
Nobody boxed him out.
Yeah.
I think in part because they doubled Brunson.
Yeah. But, I think at some point you got to get – when you blow that many leads, there's got to be a coaching issue somewhere in there where you're not – and there was a moment in one of the I'm confusing games now. Maybe it was Game 5. I think it was Game 5 where the Spurs were down 2, gave up an offensive rebound, and they fouled immediately with 26 seconds on the clock.
Oh, yeah.
And the shot clock after a missed shot, if it's regained by the offensive team, shot clock goes to 14, not 24.
Yeah.
So they could have played it out, tried to get a stop. Instead, they fouled, and now the Knicks are up 4. And now you're in the kind of no man's land of fouling and shooting threes.
And that was one of the greatest offensive rebounds in, I'm going to say Knicks history. I'm not ready to say, I'm not an NBA expert to say NBA history.
Yeah.
But, Mitchell Robinson, broken hand, had been with the Knicks when they won 10 games in a season, right? Basically out-muscles Wemby.
Yeah.
Gets the offensive board and just immediately throws it out so he doesn't get fouled because he shoots like 30%.
Yeah.
And gets it out. They foul immediately. And the coach is on the sidelines calling for a foul.
Yeah, it's a coaching thing. Yeah.
And so I think there's some criticism of Mitch Johnson for sure, who seems like Mitch Johnson, is that his name?
Yep.
Seems like a bit of a prodigy. However.
He's your age. Maybe a little.
I think he's a year or two older than me.
Yeah.
I think he's 39.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But yeah, he's my age.
Not middle age, still young. And but yeah, and again, I'm not trying to take away anything. The Knicks won that series clearly, but they took advantage of mistakes by the Spurs and some of the poor coaching decisions that went into that. They capitalized on that. That's what really good teams do.
And I think
they make you pay.
Youth and inexperience, and I think for a couple of their players, conditioning.
Yeah,
like I think they played their center Wemby way too many minutes.
Yeah,
and he was gassed in the fourth quarter, and he consistently missed free throws.
But I also think there's been such this. I think a couple things are going on. One is I think there's a part of people who are promoters of the league who want to make Wemby the face of the league.
Mm-hmm.
They want to take it away from Shai Alexander Gilgeous, because his style of play is largely unwatchable. The dribble, flail, shoot, draw foul.
Sure.
Not an aesthetically pleasing version. Then you have this 7'4", 7'5" guy who has guard skills.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's a better face. A more pleasing aesthetic version. But I think there was this big rush to be like, okay, you're going to be the new face of the NBA. You're the best player in the world. Like, we're just anointing you like you're the best player in the world. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's a terrific player, and he's on a trajectory where he could become that. But it felt like there was this like rush to want to be like, we're anointing you as the best player in the world. And in crunch time, it's like, where is he?
Yeah.
Where is he?
Yeah, his fourth quarters were not good in any game.
No.
He settled for too many jump shots, and I think the Knicks were just okay with him shooting from the outside.
Yes. And the Knicks came in with the plan of, we are just going to physically rough him up.
Yep.
And we're going to make the officials blow the whistle. And when the officials didn't and just let a level of physicality go, then Wemby just never was able to fully adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. And again, that's not a critic. That's you have to adjust to how the officials are officiating a game.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't like it. Well, that's how they're going to officiate it. You have to make adjustments. And that's where the coaching thing comes in, and that's where experience from older players comes in. And that's something the Spurs don't have. So,
yeah, and Fox was supposed to be that guy for them.
Mm-hmm. And he was bad in some key situations. Besides the layup piece that we mentioned already at the end of Game 4.
Yeah, he was bad in Game 5.
Yeah.
He did not shoot the ball well,
Yep.
and he shot the ball a lot.
Yes.
And
that's a bad combination.
yes, when you are not hitting shots and you keep
shoot
shooting.
a lot,
yes.
don't shoot it well. Not a good combo.
And they didn't have a hook for him.
Yeah.
They would not pull him out for whatever reason.
I don't know.
You would think Popovich would be stepping in because he's still with the organization, right?
Not formally.
No?
No.
Okay.
He was up in the luxury box up there.
Him and Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Did you see Tim Duncan's hair, by the way?
Yeah.
He grew it out.
He did.
He looks...
Well, he's Jamaican, correct?
I have no idea.
I believe he's Jamaican.
I know he surfs. I suppose that makes sense. They surf in Jamaica? But 53 years.
Yeah.
Won the championship.
There you go.
It was exhilarating to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations to you. So, I mean, in your lifetime, I mean, your big teams are Mets, Knicks, Jets.
Yeah. That's the first one.
That's the first one in your lifetime.
Yeah. Mets, the last one was 86. It was 2 years before I was born.
Now, they had made the World Series in your lifetime.
A couple times.
But hadn't won it.
Correct.
Wow.
2000, they made the World Series. And 2015, they made the World Series. And they made the NLCS a couple of years ago, but have not won it.
All right. Well.
So, and the Jets
made the AFC Championship game a few times.
Yes.
In your lifetime.
Never the Super Bowl.
Correct.
But made the AFC Championship game 98 against the Broncos. AFC Championship game.
And then like 2009, 2010, somewhere in there?
9 and 10, or 8 and 9. I can't remember which. It was one of those, the Rex Ryan years.
Yeah.
So.
Well, congratulations to you. Enjoy it. It's a fun feeling.
Yes. I'm not enjoying the Knicks fans beating up Spurs fans in New York City.
That's dumb.
Or the destroying of city buses or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but, I did enjoy the Wall Street Journal's article on that where they said the people that do that should be sentenced to root for the Brooklyn Nets the rest of their lives. And I thought that was a great line.
Yeah. Another major championship in the books in the Stanley Cup, the Carolina Hurricane beat the Las Vegas Knights.
Yeah, my brother has
4 games to 2.
Or had season tickets to the Carolina Hurricane, so he's very excited about that.
So that closed up last night. And the World Cup started.
Yeah, did you watch the Americans?
I did.
I did too.
They looked good.
They looked real good. That was a fun game.
I don't think Paraguay's anything great, but the United States looked very good.
They're a solid middle-of-the-road team.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I think it's something to build on.
Yeah, I think it gives you reason to hope that they'll make the knockout stage and they could win a game or two.
Yeah, who knows what could happen at that point.
So.
Did you see the American coach? He looked like Kurt Russell.
I've seen short interview clips of him, yes.
The Argentinian,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that he doesn't wear a suit. He looks very just strolled off the street.
Everyman.
Yeah.
He's your everyman kind of guy.
I was like, do you have an untucked button down on with khaki shorts right now?
Basically, yes.
You look, you just like you're at an all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet or something,
Yes. I think the most entertaining game was really the second half of Japan and the Netherlands. That was a very entertaining game. And then the other game that kind of caught people's attention was Germany beating a country called Curacao, I believe is how you say it.
I believe so, yeah.
Which I had never heard of. And
me either.
I'm guessing the percentage of Americans watching that had never heard of was like at 99%. Like, who has heard of this place? And so, you look it up and you're like, it has a population of 180,000, which is like half the population of Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Like cut Fort Wayne, Indiana in half, and that's your population.
Yep.
And so they're in it in part because of the expanded field, and they had their moment. They scored a goal against Germany to tie it at 1-1, like 20 minutes in, and it was a great moment for them. So
and
then it went to lose 7-1.
They went downhill from there pretty quickly.
Yeah. So, yeah.
USA plays Friday night against Australia.
That's right.
The game starts at 9 p.m.
That's right about when you're drifting off to sleep.
It is.
Yes. So,
well, and then the game next Thursday starts at 10 p.m.
I didn't realize that there was basically almost a week in between the games in the group play stage. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
They really dragged this thing out.
I mean, it runs till like the middle of July.
Yeah.
It runs over a month.
Yeah. Okay. All right, John. We should probably move on to our actual main topic, which is not the Knicks winning the NBA title, but,
It's the bad officiating of the NBA? No.
Don't be that guy. You won. Don't be that guy. Don't make me bring up the obvious double dribble they didn't catch on OG.
There was an obvious double dribble. Yep.
So bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, NBA officiating in general is bad.
Yep.
All right, so we're on part 3 of our book, our summer read, The Return of the Kingdom. And we have finished off his discussion of the Torah. And so now the chapters for this week are basically the rest of the Old Testament. Former prophets, latter prophets, and then the writings. So, and as a reminder, we have our author interview that will drop 2 weeks from today when this episode drops.
2 weeks.
June 30th.
Okay.
It's a good interview.
We had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun with Stephen Dempster.
Yeah. He's a chatty fellow.
He is. He's an enjoyable hang. So,
we talked a lot about sports, surprisingly.
We did. Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun.
It was. So, all right. So we are in chapters 10 through 13.
Okay.
And, so tracking the development of the kingdom of God in the prophets. So he starts with the former prophets. So basically, Joshua, Judges, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings.
Okay.
All right. And so what are some things that
basically from forming a nation to exile
of the southern kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what are some things that stood out to you?
We've said this over and over again, but he is just a master of walking through large swaths of text and distilling the storyline and giving you biblical theological nuggets.
Yeah.
I particularly enjoyed the Joshua as the new Moses section at the bottom of 107.
Yep.
I did want to get your thought on something, and it just struck me. I mean, I've read it before, but when you're reading Joshua 5, and he runs across the Lord of Captain of the Lord's host. There we go.
There you go.
And he goes, "Are you for us or against us?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
And his first words are neither.
Yeah.
What Why? Why neither?
Well, I think it's God's way of saying you don't determine the good guys and the bad guys and the who's in charge. This is on my terms.
Yeah.
And so your categories are too small in one sense. It's not that I'm aligning myself with your agenda. It's that I have an agenda that I'm calling you to align yourselves with. And so that's why I think he says it's not are you with us or against us? Because that puts the us in the position of power in one sense.
Yeah.
And God is saying, no, you've got it backwards. The question is, are you with me or are you against me? And so I think that's why he says it that way. So.
Yeah. Oh, from there he goes on to talk about, comparing this moment to the burning bush at Sinai, right?
Definite parallels there.
And then goes into Exodus, Passover, and then Jericho, which was really, really good.
I appreciate his point there when he's talking about Jericho, because you think about the strained instructions that God gives Israel for conquering it. Walk around the city, it's not military tactics. It's just do this seemingly strange thing. And really what ends up happening is, on the seventh day they circle it, and I think it's circled 7 times or what.
Yep.
And then they shout, and the walls come down. So it's not even their military prowess that's in view there. But I appreciate his point here, as he says on this page, all this provides an important theological framework for the imminent conquest. Obedience to the divine rule is critical, and the conquest of the city of Jericho is a paradigmatic case of the divine rule. While a battle and an Israelite victory certainly takes place, one would hardly discern this from the description of the victory in Joshua 6. Instead, the focus is on divine monergism, not on human participation. The battle is the Lord's. That's a really important observation, I think, that shows that helps you interpret later Israelite victories in the conquest. It's not because Israel is this amazing military force. It's because Yahweh fights for them.
Yeah.
So, you're right. He does have such a gift of kind of summarizing massive chunks of text, and working through the judges and then the need for a king. He's got a helpful chart there on page 112 where he draws parallels between Samson and Israel, how Samson kind of becomes this picture of what Israel has become. Yeah,
that is helpful.
And so again, that's just some good preaching gold right there.
Absolutely.
To help you out. But
I've always known this, but I always appreciate sort of the Gideon story that he brings to the surface, right?
Yeah.
No, don't make me your king, but I'm going to name my kid.
My father
is king.
Yeah. I'm going to do a lot of king-like things. Just don't call me a king.
Yeah.
So, one thing that stood out to me as he moves on into the period of Samuel is he spends a decent bit of time unpacking Hannah's prayer at the beginning of 1 Samuel as sort of like a roadmap for what's going to happen. And it reminded me of how, sometimes I think we as English readers underappreciate the sort of poetic chunks that are embedded within these narrative sections. Mm-hmm. That you have these long narrative sections, and then suddenly there's this like poetic little interlude. And, we think, oh, well, that's a nice little mixing it up thing, or like, oh, I like poetry, or like, yeah. But those are often like hermeneutical keys to interpreting what's going on around it. And I think he draws that out well with the song, with Hannah's prayer, I should say. But he also, again, just does a great job with the drawing out insights from the Hebrew text, and helping you see word plays. I want to jump to his section, The Return of the King, on page 119. And he puts in parentheses,
The Ark.
Yeah. And I was impressed by his observation here. I mean, he's quoting someone else, but how David tries to bring the ark back twice, and the first time is a disaster.
Right, it comes back on the cart and it falls off,
and one of the attendants tries to brace it from falling and is struck immediately dead.
Yep.
And he points out there at the bottom of 119. In his first attempt, David is acting like a king in the cultural context of the ancient Near East. He is in charge, and religion serves the establishment. The priests are like the chaplains at modern secular universities, brought out from the shelf for significant events, dusted off, and asked to say a prayer to bless the occasion.
I actually love it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he points out the difference in the second entry when David follows more closely protocols. But he does spend a good bit of time on God's covenant with David, which you would expect.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, again, he's just so skilled at the large summary, but then just dropping in those little nuggets along the way. We're like, oh, that's a really good one sentence kind of nugget there. He's dropped in. Also points out the connection between temple and kingdom, which is a major biblical theological theme. But it is interesting how he ends that chapter, which is long.
It is a long chapter.
By talking about how when you get to the end of 2 Kings, the narrative about the kingdom of God begun in Genesis has reached a dead end. I mean, it looks like, well, this is a disaster. Israel and Judah are both in exile now. And then you see the little how that ends, and you're like, oh, wait a minute. There's this little note of hope.
Mm-hmm.
It's a faint glimmer of there's a little bit of light in the darkness, but not much. So anyway, we should probably move on to the prophets.
Okay.
What are some things that stood out to you in his discussion of the prophets? What in the Hebrew canon is the latter prophets, what we in our English Bibles just think of as the prophets.
Yeah, I mean, goodness, it's funny because we're reading a book. You and I are in a book club you're leading, reading about these books right now. And so there's some crossover, definitely different emphasis that they're going for.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always appreciate somebody talking about the vision of the servant king, right? Who is this in Isaiah? Mm-hmm. I know you love that as well.
Just a little.
Right? You've written a bit about that?
A bit. A skosh.
But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I think his incorporation of discussion of the day of the Lord, and its connection with the focus on the Davidic king, and one of the things that he really kind of hones in on is when these prophetic books are written, David has been dead for at least 200 years. In some cases, 300 years or 400 years almost. Like he's been dead a long time. And yet these prophets keep coming back to this hope of a Davidic king, that there's going to be a king from David's line who is the focal point, who's going to establish the eternal kingdom that God had intended. And there is he does draw in, as you mentioned, this kind of connects with the other book that you and I are reading as part of our reading group. In Zechariah 14, one of the prophets written after the partial return from exile, that near the end of that book, you have this promise, on that day there will be neither sunlight nor cold, frosty darkness. It will be a unique day, a day known only to the Lord, with no distinction between day and night. When evening comes, there will be light. The Lord will be king over the whole earth. On that day, there will be one Lord, and his name the only name. So again, even though the partial return is just that. Partial, not what they would have been hoping for. The prophetic message remains the same of, I'm going to establish my kingdom, even though what you see now is not awe-inspiring. Yeah. I wanted to focus a little bit more time on the writings. He's got 2 chapters on the writings. Now, again, in the Hebrew Bible, the section known as the writings refers to the Psalms, and Psalms, Proverbs,
I think Ruth is in there.
Ecclesiastes, Lamentations, Ruth, Daniel,
Chronicles.
Ezra, Nehemiah, and 1st and 2nd Chronicles.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird mixture of things that we don't put together in our English Bibles. Some of that we think, oh, well, that's wisdom literature, and then others that think, oh, well, that's like the historical books, Chronicles and Ezra, Nehemiah. And then we lump Daniel into the prophets when he's part of the writings here. So anyway, and this actually is a little bit of a teaser for a question you asked.
I did ask that question,
that you asked Dempster about, and the relationship between biblical theology and the wisdom books in particular, how those often feel like a sore thumb kind of sticking out. You know, biblical theology, narrative-focused, tracing narrative progression, and the wisdom literature in a lot of ways doesn't easily or obviously fit immediately in a way that you're like, oh, that just plugs right in.
Yeah.
So it is a little different. So what stood out to you in some of these in these 2 chapters on the writings?
Oh my goodness. Well, I still don't know. Having asked that question, having reread the chapters now, having asked that question, if it fits in super well. I mean, I appreciate his explanation, right? And part of his answer was that these books provide. He says it on 138. Provide a description of life in the kingdom of God, right? That that these are, what we see in Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs, Job, are life in the kingdom and how it is supposed to be lived under God's lordship. So I appreciate that. I think it's interesting to think about living in the kingdom of God with some of those books in view. But yeah. So I appreciate what he had to say here about living in the kingdom.
Yeah. Similarly, on page 139, I think this is a helpful insight. He says a different epistemology is at work here. In other words, in the Proverbs in particular.
Yeah.
Reason. Reason differs from the revelation of the Torah and the prophets. Reason starts with the presuppositions of the Torah, especially the fear of Yahweh and the created order, and seeks to explore the world in this light. And then next paragraph says, wisdom also opens one's eyes to experience the restoration of paradise. It is not a matter of gaining life after death, but experiencing life before death. That's gold, Jerry. That's gold, Jerry. But I think that is an interesting way to frame wisdom literature, in that there's almost an inaugurated aspect to it when you think of it that way. Of you can experience elements of the new Eden now by living a life of wisdom, even here in this fallen world. And I've always thought of inaugurated eschatology in the New Testament, and that's a major thing, obviously. But I've never thought of wisdom as, in essence, being able to live the life of the new creation in this fallen world. I've never put those 2 things together. And so I think that's a helpful insight that he points out there. There's one other thing that I wanted to highlight for our readers, and that's his discussion of Daniel and his discussion of the Son of Man. That's on pages 145 and 146.
Yep.
I think many obviously are going to be familiar with that passage, Daniel 7, Son of Man appears before the Ancient of Days and receives a kingdom over every tribe and tongue and language and nation, et cetera, et cetera. And we're familiar with that because Jesus uses that title, Son of Man, in his ministry to refer to himself. But I think what a lot of people aren't as familiar with is that at the end of Daniel 7, that it talks about how the kingdom will be given to the saints of the people of the Most High. And so what people miss in that is the saints, God's holy people, only receive the kingdom because they are associated with the individual Son of Man whom God gives the kingdom to. And so even as you see Son of Man language in the New Testament picked up, I think it's important for us as believers to recognize we're included in that because we're included in Christ. And I think he does a good job of drawing that out and helping to see that. So again, tons more we could talk about there, but that'll set us up for our final segment next episode, which basically is the New Testament.
Yeah.
And then the episode after that will be
the
interview with Stephen Dempster.
And then June will be over.
Yeah.
That's moving fast. And remind me of your travel schedule.
Well, when the interview with Dempster drops, I'll be in Ethiopia.
Okay. And what are you doing? Have we told listeners this?
I don't know if we have. I'm teaching at a pastor's college there.
Nice.
So I did this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So this will be my second trip there. And there'll be a group of like 10 to 12 men training for pastoral ministry. Either they're in Ethiopia. Sometimes there's an individual from a neighboring African country as well.
All speak English?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So I don't have to work through an interpreter, which means you can cover a lot more ground, obviously.
Because you've done some courses.
In our Korean program that we used to have here at Grace, I've taught through a translator.
Yeah.
And you can cover about 35 to 40% of what you would cover in just direct instruction. So, all right, John, I think it's time now for This Day in Sports History.
This Day in Sports History, June 16th, 2026. 1909, Jim Thorpe makes his pro baseball pitching debut for Rocky Mount with a 4-2 win, causing him to forfeit his Olympic gold medals.
We live in a slightly different day, don't we?
I'd say so. 1938, Boston first baseman Jimmy Fox, with 2 X's, is walked a record 6 consecutive times by the St. Louis Browns. Red Sox win 12-8.
I wonder if – I mean, there was a stretch where Barry Bonds was being walked essentially every time up.
Yeah.
But he must not have ever reached 6 in a row.
Yeah, and were those intentional walks or were they – I imagine they were just –
I think this by Jimmy Fox was probably just him working the count, and I don't think it was intentional necessarily.
Well, in 1974, French Open's men's tennis, Bjorn Borg of Sweden wins his first career Grand Slam, beats Manuel Orantes. Am I getting that right?
Probably.
Orantes of Spain.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Yep. 1988, a team of 32 divers begins cycling underwater on a standard tricycle to complete 116.66 miles in 75 hours and 20 minutes in Santa Barbara, California.
Now, who sits around and thinks, okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a bunch of tricycles, and we're going to put them underwater, and we're going to have you ride those tricycles. I'm assuming, like, stationary, right?
No, I think it moved because they went to complete 116.66 miles.
I guess. They're just
Is this in the ocean? In a pool?
It's unclear.
I feel like I need more information.
On a standard tricycle to come. Yeah. All right, keep going.
2002 U.S. Open men's golf at Bethpage State Park. Tiger Woods wins his second Open title, 3 shots ahead of runner-up Phil Mickelson. This was sort of in the era where it felt like Phil was never going to win a major.
Yes.
And he was just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
To win a major. And it just was not happening.
Yes.
I assume this was this Bethpage Black?
I think so.
You going to watch the U.S. Open this weekend?
Maybe. I might catch pieces of it.
Is it Shinnecock?
Is that New York?
That's the Hamptons.
Okay.
There is one road in and one road out.
Okay.
It is way out there. And my only memory of the last time
is that going to cause Scotty Scheffler any problems with getting in and out of the golf course?
It might. Who knows? Okay. But my understanding is, or my memory from the last time is that guys could not hold a green on the par 3. They would hit the ball and it would land like inches from the hole, stop, and roll off.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where they had to they came down and sprayed down the greens. And
to get them wet so they would hold a little
and the
better.
fans booed.
Okay. All right.
You got more information about this?
I'm working on it here.
I've got one more I can do.
Give me one more
okay.
here.
I try to do quite a bit on Bethpage there. 2019, 24 hours of Le Mans. 2-time world F1 champion Fernando Alonso, along with Swiss driver Sebastian Buemi and Japanese Kazuki Nakajimi, I butchered that last one there, win back-to-back titles for the Toyota Racing, Gazoo Racing.
There you go. Okay.
You got more information about our tricycle underwater?
I think so, yes. Let's see here. On June 16, 1988, a team of 32 scuba divers in Santa Barbara, California, began taking turns riding a standard tricycle underwater. Their goal was to set a world record for the farthest distance traveled underwater on a tricycle. And so they have pictures, and the pictures look like, well, I don't know, maybe some training attempts there. Let's see, a few details. They used a normal tricycle, not a specially designed underwater vehicle, so no cheating there.
Okay.
The divers worked in shifts, passing the tricycle from one diver to the next. So they had one tricycle, apparently. Interesting. The water resistance makes pedaling extremely difficult. Yeah. So covering over 100 miles required continuous effort and careful coordination. The event was recognized as a Guinness-style world record stunt at a time when unusual endurance records were especially popular. Okay.
Does it say ocean or pool?
Let's see. The image of dozens of scuba divers taking turns pedaling a child's tricycle across the ocean floor for 3 days is exactly as bizarre as it sounds.
Okay, so it was across the ocean.
I guess.
That's more impressive.
I guess. That is so strange. That is so strange.
Man.
Okay.
Is that the one we're going with?
Do you want to?
I mean, I think Knicks NBA title, The Return of the King Part 3, Return of the Kingdom Part 3, and
Underwater Tricycle
Underwater Tricycle.
Okay. I can go with that. I think I can go with that. Let me circle that here. Okay. One thing you liked.
I got to go with the Knicks NBA championship.
Have you ordered merch?
I have not.
Okay, you got it. Okay. You gotta get some merch.
So,
and you need. Have you gotten like I
haven't bought anything.
A front page from like
the New York Times or the New York Post?
Yeah.
Or
you got to do this.
That would be a good idea.
You got it. Okay.
I had not thought about the.
See, I've lived through 3 Ohio State national championships, so I feel like I can give you a little bit of guidance here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You need to get on that and buy. And I'm sure you can find them all over the place. And then you frame it, and it's a nice little memento of a significant event. So
Yeah.
get a front page of, I don't know if you want the Post, if you want the Times. Sometimes we've also done Sports Illustrated. So that's another option potentially. But, do it up, man. Like, this would be a nice piece in your office.
Yeah.
In your new palatial office.
Palatial.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm going to go with something related to the World Cup, believe it or not. You've probably seen this on Twitter, right? These Europeans coming over and tweeting about their experience here in the States. And it feels like good, fun Americana kind of stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Of these people, coming in and they're like stopping at a Buc-ee's and their minds are exploding with what they're seeing. And we're not talking about people from like third world,
We're talking Germans.
We're talking Germans.
Yeah.
Okay. And even some Scotsmen coming over and being like, this is unreal.
So I think this started well over a year ago with a couple of British guys that did this.
Okay.
And got such a significant social media following that I think a lot of other members of the world are using it as an opportunity to come to the United States and do the same thing.
But the big one is a guy named is it Frank or Freddie from Germany?
Yes. He was down
Freddie.
in Georgia, right?
Yeah. And so he's driving through the South and he's making all these comments about this is incredible. This is like even just like small towns, it's beautiful. Like it's a nice little piece of Americana here.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you look at Europe, people don't live in small towns.
Yeah.
They all live in and around a city, right?
Yeah.
There's very few, small towns that people live in.
Yeah. I mean, yesterday, apparently Freddie was at the game in Dallas, is that where? No, that's not where Germany. Wherever they were, it was one of the indoor stadiums.
Oh, Atlanta?
Maybe is it
Mercedes-Benz?
Anyway, he's commenting on the fact that he is freezing as he's at the game because
And they take a hydration break?
Yeah. So yeah, just marveling at just things that we take for granted, like even some things that were like, yeah, like I'm no Taco Bell fan, but they're going crazy over Taco Bell, But going to Buc-ee's and like some of these things, you're like, this is kind of an Americana thing. So
I saw one where the guy, I think it was the same guy, was in Georgia, and you get in an inner tube and basically float down the river.
Yes.
And he had never even heard of such a thing before.
Yes.
And I mean, that's a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. I've done that in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Near Asheville. There's a nice little lazy river that you just get on a tube and just kind of float for a few miles, and it's great.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's Houston. Houston was where it was. But that is my one thing I liked. All right, John, we have talked about the New York Knickerbockers are the champions of the basketball world.
Yep.
We have talked about The Return of the Kingdom Part 3. Finish the book out for next week's discussion. We have talked about Underwater Tricycling.
That's right. I don't know. It is now.
It is now. Then we talked again about the New York Knicks winning the NBA title.
What a moment.
And we talked about foreigners discovering some of the unique joys of life in America. And so I think, by definition, we have covered our various and sundry topics. And so all that's left to say is, until next time, the Lord bless y'all real good.
Later.